y'all hear me if I don't use this microphone? Or, no, that's really working. Can you hear me okay? So I don't want to give a long, drawn-out version of this because I could keep y'all here for about 3 hours. Seriously, to tell you everything about our experience fleeing a hurricane and going to Forsyth, Georgia. But I'll start with how it all started. On Sunday, Craig had reached out to Pastor Jack in fear, not knowing, we've never been through anything like this before. We grew up in Massachusetts. We more recently lived in Arizona. You don't get this kind of stuff, in either of those places. So just not knowing, what to do. And the pastor advised him that, if you have any doubts or any question of the structure of your home, your safety would be at risk. So do what you have to do, and if you feel you have to go, go. So we made that decision, and Craig hit his knees and asked God to give us a sign where to go, because we didn't know. I mean, you head out to Raleigh, everybody's going that way. You head, do we go to Virginia, do we go south? We knew it was coming into some of South Carolina also. We didn't want to go there. So he just asked God, please give me a sign and tell me where to take my family to be safe. And minutes after he spoke that prayer, he called. He being Will, our future son-in-law. He didn't have Will's number in his phone, so the phone came up and all it said was Georgia. So Craig said, okay, we're going to Georgia. There's my answer that I just asked for. So immediately I got online on my phone and started searching campgrounds in Georgia, KOA campgrounds. I grew up in KOA campgrounds. My grandfather and grandmother, they loved going and traveling, and that was a big part of my childhood, along with my mom too. So I knew KOA. They're clean. They're one of the best campgrounds. Although my mother-in-law Diane had never been camping before, neither had my husband Craig. I informed them that this is what we were going to do. We got a tent, don't worry, I've done plenty of camping, I've got this all under control. So I found, I Googled campgrounds in Georgia, and there were many. There were a whole bunch that came up on the map. But for some reason, the one in Forsyth was like this. Pick me, pick me. So I clicked on it, went to their website. I was originally looking to see if they had any cabins. Even though we had a tent, plenty of gear, air mattress. We even took a twin-size mattress with us, plenty of sleeping bags, blankets, the whole deal with the whole camping situation. I thought, if we could get a cabin, we'd be comfortable. We didn't know how long we were going to be there for, so. No cabins were available, but they did have tent sites. So right then and there, I immediately reserved a tent site from Tuesday to Sunday, knowing when the storm was coming in, knowing all the flooding days after, or so we've been told. And, you don't know when you're going to be able to get back into the area, of course, not knowing what the damage was going to be, with the roads and all of that as well. So, Monday, we spent the day out getting food and water and everything we thought we'd need, batteries, flashlights, gathering it all up together, packing it in Craig's enclosed trailer, and said we would head out and get a good night's sleep because we knew it was a long drive. It was about 515 miles from here. When Craig was talking to his brother joked and said, well, why you gotta go that far? The storm's only 150 miles wide. I said, I don't care. I'm going 3 times that away. I don't want no part of it. So we knew we had a long drive, and we planned to head out first thing Tuesday morning. The evacuation wasn't actually until Wednesday, but we didn't want to wait. We didn't want to be part of all that traffic and all that insanity. We were like, we're going to go now. So we did. We actually didn't get to the campground till Wednesday, just because we did run into a lot of traffic, and I think the ride should have been about 6 hours, 6.5 hours out there, and we drove for over 10, and we were still not there yet. We were still 2 hours away. So we decided to stay the night in, I don't remember where we stayed. Oh, we were in Augusta, excuse me. In Augusta, Georgia. I chose DoubleTree, don't ask me why. Because I used to work for them, I thought it would be a good place. I know they were dog friendly. We had 3 dogs with us, so that was another, difficult situation. We're trying to find a hotel that's gonna take in 3 dogs and not pay a small fortune to stay there, so. But I knew the DoubleTree was dog friendly. And we stayed there and headed out the next morning. We had about another 200 miles to go to get to Forsyth. So we called them, of course, they were expecting us there Tuesday night, and we called and said, okay, we've been driving all day, we're really tired, the traffic's crazy, but, we're gonna get there, we'll be there tomorrow. Do we still have a site? And they said, absolutely. And the woman that I spoke to on the phone, who was super, super nice, her name was Sharon. And I told her, this is wonderful, and we'll be there tomorrow, and I'm still looking forward to meeting her. Did not know why until much later in our stay, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So we got there, we set up camp. I have a tent that actually has 2 dome tents on the end, and then like a screen house in the middle. I didn't look at their facilities well at all. They had a 10 by 12 tent pad. My tent, when it's all put together, is 17 feet long. So I said, that's not gonna work. So we had to improvise, and we took the 2 little dome tents, and we put one this way, and we put one this way on the tent pad, and they fit perfectly. And then we took the center part, and we set it up kind of like a little sitting area, in another part, another area on the campsite. The campsite was actually very clean, very nice. They had covered picnic tables. They had a fire pit for us. There was 2 grills on our site, and although they were kind of looking at me like, okay, what is this? We're gonna be here for a week. I said, don't worry, it's gonna be great. Yeah, it's gonna be wonderful. Camping. My husband's first experience in camping. He just did what he was told. So we slept the night in the tents, and the next morning was kind of interesting getting up. We heard Craig. Diane had a little bit of trouble getting out of the tent. We put the twin mattress in there for them, which sits, I don't know, probably a good 14 inches high, figuring that they'd be more comfortable on that than the air mattress. And I thought, it might be easier for her to get up off of as well. Well, she kind of got turned around and ended up with her booty on the ground getting out of the tent, so she was calling for Craig to help her. And so at that point I was kind of like, okay, I don't think this is going to work for a week. What are we going to do? Well, a little while later, while we were making coffee or having coffee, and yes, we camp with our coffee maker, it's a must-have. We had electricity and water at the campsite, so no problem. Coffee maker along. We were sitting having coffee, and one of the workers came down to see us. Her name was Rhonda, and she pulled up on her golf cart, and she came right over, and she said, "Morning, folks, how are you today?" And we were like, "Good, and how are you?" And she says, "Well, God put it on my heart to come here and help you." Okay. We don't need anything, we're good. She said, "Well, I've got electric skillets, I've got an extra air mattress, I've got extension cords." She said, "We got an extra TV, we'll bring you the TV with an antenna so you can stay on top of everything that's going on with the storm at home." And we were like, okay, well, we're good. We have plenty of stuff. Do you need this? Do you need that? No. She was insistent on bringing us these supplies and said when she was praying that morning, God put it on her heart to come and help us. So while she was there giving us, offering us all these things, over her radio, it said, "Number 13 canceled." And I immediately thought, oh boy, is that a cabin? Please let that be a cabin. So she answered back and said, 13 canceled? And they said, yep, 13 canceled, okay. So I said to her, "Rhonda, is that a cabin?" And she said, "Yes, it is." I said, "They canceled? What's the chance that we can get in that cabin?" "Well, I don't know," she says, "but let me go up to the office and find out." She zoomed off on her golf cart and went right up to the office. Came back within probably 5 minutes or less. She said, you guys want that cabin? You need to act fast. You need to go up there now. She said, I got the key. Come on, I'll show you the cabin. And if you want it, go right to the office. So she took me over to see the cabin, which, you know, we were almost 2 days of sitting out in the sweltering heat, you know, and the bugs and all of that. We walked into the cabin. It was 70 degrees in there. It was beautiful. Had bunk beds, had a queen bed, had TV, cable. We did have a 7-year-old with us, so, you know, TV's a good thing once in a while for them. They get kind of bored without. Although she did good at the campground. She really did good. She was a very good girl there and found things to keep herself busy, even without the cable. So I said, oh my gosh, this is great. Yeah, I want it. We need this. So went right up to the office, and the lady who was working in the office at the time was Sharon. Now, we didn't see her when we got there originally, but she was working there, and when I walked in, Rhonda was with me, the other worker, and she kind of said, these are the people from T2, our tent site, T2. And she kind of looked at me like, uh-oh, what does she want? This place had been busy, packed, from the day we got there till the day we left. I mean, there were people in and out, and the ladies in the office, God bless them, because they seemed like they worked day and night. And a lot of people went in there with a lot of complaints about things. And I basically told her, look, I'm not here to complain to you about anything. I said, this place is wonderful. I'm here to find out if we can transfer from our tent site to this cabin that canceled, cabin 13. And she was like, well, yes. So I said, oh, thank you. So she did all the paperwork and transferred us over. We had to pay a little bit more, but it wasn't a lot. And then we were ready to haul all our gear over to our cabin. Which Rhonda was right there with us, and do you need this, do you need that, is there anything? I got some sheets, because when you rent the cabins, you're supposed to bring your own linens. We didn't expect to be in a cabin, we were in a tent site, so we didn't bring any linens. So she said, I'll bring you guys some sheets, do you need blankets, pillows, you know, anything else? And I think she came down with food and other things, you know, with this. She's also, we had 2 totes that were about this long, this wide, and this high, you know, full of food, and 2 coolers. We didn't need anything, but it was impressed on her heart that she needed to help us, and she was doing everything she could, you know, to make us more comfortable. So we got into the cabin, and let me just tell you, this day was wonderful. While we were staying in the cabin, we met, well, actually, was the night we went to dinner, were we in the cabin or were we in the tent site? We were in the cabin, right? When we went to the dinner?
First Baptist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the first night in the cabin. Okay, so when I went up to the office to change us from the tent site to the cabin, there was a flyer on the counter, and it said, welcome evacuees. And it was the First Baptist Church of Forsyth. And they were putting on a dinner for all evacuees, and it was free. So we said, well, let's go. Why not? It wasn't too far away, and I think it was at 5 or 5:30, so we got all our gear moved in, and then we said, okay, let's go to the dinner. We went over to the church, and there was quite a good amount of people there. Upon, you know, coming in, I think we met the pastor of the church right away. The mayor of the town was there, the fire chief, some other EMTs, the news was there, and of course a lot of people, members of the church, and they were so welcoming and so wonderful. You know, come on in, where are you from? Different people were coming into the table and sitting down and asking, you know, where did you come from? So, you know, we were telling them where we live in North Carolina, and that we were under the mandatory evacuation, and, you know, well, what brought us here? Well, don't know. This place just popped out on the map, but the news lady had come over to the table and had asked if anybody was willing to be interviewed. So Craig's like, no. She points at me, and he agrees, sure, you know, I'll go over for an interview too. And I think we were the only ones. I don't think anybody else even got up, although they went to every table in there and asked if people were willing to be, you know, to be interviewed. So, so they interviewed us both, and then before leaving, we met a couple that was from Harker's Island. They were at the next table over in Forsyth, Georgia, 515 miles away from here. There's this other couple that basically is, you know, you could say they're our neighbors. They're right there on Harker's Island. And they were talking to the mayor and the fire chief and planning to get a U-Haul truck. The town was going to take all kinds of donations, bottled water, you know, whatever it be, food, cleaning supplies, and diapers and all this other stuff, and they were going to fit as much as they could in the U-Haul truck. And this gentleman said, I'll drive it back. Brought everything back to Harker's Island, because he knew that, you know, that things were pretty bad on Harker's Island. So the lady from the news, just before we left, I said, is this going to be aired later? You know, the interviews, will this be aired or something on the news later? And she said, yeah, it'll probably be on the 10 o'clock news. So, of course, you know, it's 10 o'clock, just about 10 o'clock, and we're sitting in the cabin in the nice comfy AC, you know, happy as could be. And we clicked on the news, and lo and behold, who's on the news? Me. Looking like a hot mess. Because I'm camping, of course, you know, and, well, it's just, why bother? You're camping, you know. So nobody fixes their hair. It's in a ponytail and looking like a fright. But anyways, yeah, so I was on the local news there. They had asked me, you know, how did it feel to know that these people, you know, so far away from where you live to come to a, you know, a strange place, and how does it feel to know that, you know, they're willing to help you? And I said, it really restores my faith in humanity, you know, and that the news these days is so full of ugly stuff, and, you know, all you hear is all the bad stuff. It's wonderful that, you know, there's something good, you know. So after that, we went back. We were there. We were actually going to leave on Sunday, and we found out that roads were bad. 70 was flooded, 95 was closed at the Virginia border. It was also closed at the South Carolina border. Talking to people back here, Craig has contacts with a few local sheriffs, and they were telling him, look, if you can just stay put, stay put. Don't even try coming back. And so we decided to stay another day or two. And in the meantime, talking with the lady who had originally come down and helped us with all the supplies, and, you know, the one that was there when I heard over her radio, number 13 canceled. We found out that the lady in the office, who had been absolutely just an angel on earth, Sharon, is a, how do I want to put it? She's a gospel singer. And the day we were leaving, on Thursday the 20th, I said, really? I would have never, ever suspected that, because she was working at the campground. She was just the office lady at the campground. So Rhonda says, yeah, look her up. She's got some YouTube videos out. So I did just that. And I looked her up, and wow, she's amazing. She gave us one of her CDs before we left. And she wrote on the CD, Craig and Deborah, thankful God allowed, or
Mommy, need your glasses?
Thankful God allowed our paths to cross. Well, there's pictures on there that you can't see the writing. So, her name is Sharon K. King, and the morning we were leaving, Craig told her that we had looked her up on YouTube, and we were just blown away by her voice and her music, her songs, the message in her songs. It's just wonderful. Oh, let me back up. Also, the morning we were leaving, the night before, Craig had got in touch with the mayor and the fire chief from who we met at the dinner and said, we're going to be heading home in another day or so. I don't have a U-Haul truck, but I have a 6x12 enclosed trailer. And if you guys, could get any more supplies, I would be willing to take them back and distribute them, where they're needed in the community. So the morning we were packing up and leaving, the fire chief rolled in his pickup truck with medicines, because we heard that kids were getting sick and people needed first aid kits, and that there was a need for, some feminine products and stuff like that. They rolled in with peroxide, alcohol, first aid kits, antibiotic cream, triple antibiotic cream, feminine products, I'm trying to remember what else, diapers, antibacterial wipes, gallons of bleach, bottles of water. It wasn't a ton of stuff, not enough that would fill a U-Haul truck, but it was still the community, last minute, coming together and saying, hey, let's do what we can to help these people. So that was pretty amazing too. We came back with all that stuff, and it actually got dropped off at the North River Fire Station. A few days after we had gotten home, we had heard that that area got hit pretty hard, and they were in need of, lots of things. So we took it over there and said, here you go. But the morning we were leaving, I spoke with Sharon, and she actually shared her testimony with me, which would have never guessed. But she was a recovering alcoholic and a drug addict. When she heard the call for the Lord, she started her music ministry, is what she called it. And she spent, I think she said 15 years or close to it, out on the road, traveling around everywhere, performing for people. And it just got to a point where she needed to heal inside. And she kind of went from the frying pan to the fire, I guess. And she never took that time to heal herself. So that's how she ended up at the campground in Forsyth. It was her solace, is what she said. She just needed something low-key, not all that fast-paced, and go here and fly there and perform this night and on a plane tomorrow morning and off to another place. And I told her, I said, your songs are amazing, and I was blown away to know that this lady here working at a campground, is an award-winning gospel singer. So she said, well, I might be ready to go out on the road again someday soon. I said, really? Wow. When you're ready, I said, I know a beautiful little church in Otway, North Carolina, that would love to have you come and sing for them. So I can only pray that one day she will take us up on that offer. She's a beautiful person, beautiful voice, and I would like to share a song from her CD that she graciously gave us with you all. This song really touched my heart on the ride home, and I hope